Hello everyone, this is Lord Kurnion, and I am here with the first report from the Brawler Bash tournament. I know you've been waiting anxiously for this report, waiting with bated breath. So I decided to finally sit down and start recording some of these reports. So sorry for the delay on these, but you're in for a good lesson in how to not play Warhammer. This is my army if you haven't seen it before. And here is my opponent's army. He's taking Warriors of Chaos. So there was like some incentive in the tournament to not take legions. Basically, if you were not taking a legion's force, or rather, if you were taking a legion's force, you lost 200 victory points per game for a total loss of 1,000 points. So it was kind of up in the air about whether or not it was worth it to take a legion's force or not. So this guy decided against it. He still brought a pretty powerful army. He has a 3-up unkillable Lord of Tzeentch on disc. He's got 3-up reroll 1 stubborn crown, all that jazz. He has a 3-up BSB on a steed. He has a Demon Prince of Nurgle level 4 Death with all the bells and whistles that you normally would expect of the Death Prince. He has a level 2 Slaanesh on a steed. He has 5 Chaos Chariots, all marked Slaanesh. 9 Marauders of Chaos with full command mark of Slaanesh. 3 Skull Crushers, and 3 Chimeras. So pretty strong army, a lot of individual elements, not that many banners, but that doesn't matter that much for the scenario that we rolled up. So the first scenario of Brawler Bash, each round had its own scenario that was worth up to 1,000 victory points, and then you played a scenario card worth about 500, and the scenario card gives you a certain bonus. So in this scenario, there is a Mountain Chimera in the middle of the board. If the Chimera is dead at the end of the game, you get 200, both players get 200 victory points, which as I said, at tournament points equals, or victory points equals tournament points, right? So it doesn't hurt you if your opponent scores points. It only helps you if you score points. So it's in both of your best interests to make sure this thing is dead at the end of the game. Cool. You get 300 points if you did the most wounds to it, okay? You get 200 if you have Fortitude in your opponent's deployment zone at the end of the game, and you have 200 if you prevent your opponent from getting Fortitude in your deployment zone. So because board control is pretty important in this game, in this scenario, both my opponent and I looked at this and it's like, okay, so let's play table quarters, because if we achieve the main objective, then we should also be able to achieve the table quarters objective. So it's kind of putting all our eggs in one basket. If we can keep our opponent out of our deployment zone and get into their deployment zone, we probably also control more table quarters. That was the logic we both used. Really not that surprising. So we both went for that one. So here is my opponent's army going left to right. He has his BSB. He has his two of his Chimeras. He has a Chariot, his Lord on disc. He has 3 Skull Crushers, 2 more Chariots, his Nurgle Demon Prince, his big unit of Marauders with the level 2 Slaanesh on Steed in there, and then 2 more Chariots. Lined up against him, I have my Marauders in the woods. I have my Warriors next to them, Skull Cannons behind that. I have my Nurgle Ogres next to that, unit of Furies behind them. Over towards my right flank, I have both of my Tuskor Chariots. I have my Demon Prince of Slaanesh behind that. I have another Skull Cannon next to my Chariots, my Doom Bull next to my Skull Cannon, and then both of my Hell Cannons sitting up there on the hill. So this is a true line of sight, so it's really not that big a deal for me to be partially on the hill or off the hill. So this shows him after Vanguards. The scenario card that we played allowed him to Vanguard. It allowed both of us to Vanguard 1 unit or character. He chose to Vanguard a unit, or a character rather. He Vanguarded his Demon Prince. And he also Vanguarded the other guys. And then he won first turn, so everything flew up. And it was about this point that I realized that my army is not that great. Because I just did not bring enough to deal with all of his individual units. Marauders and Warriors cannot take anything that's flying at them on this flank, so we're going to see how this happens. His Chimeras move up, his Disc Lord moves up to keep them in range. BSB is also in range, so the Chimeras don't go panicking off. Cool. Skull Crushers advance a little bit, Chariots advance as well. Yep. And here's just an overview board shot. And then over on this side, his Demon Prince flies all the way up after vanguarding, gets next to both of my Skull Cannons. And his unit of fast cav also moves up out of range, out of the arc of sight of my Doom Bowl, which is probably smart. Magic phase, he tries to throw a sun through both of my Hell Cannons, but I'm able to stop that. He got a spell off. I forget what it was. I think he got off Spirit Leech at one of my Hell Cannons, but I've won the roll off, so it was fine. Shooting phase, his Chimeras breathe fire at my Marauders and kill about 6 of them. I think only 1 used his breath weapon. I got a Legion's turn 1, so my BSB sees the Chariot, which I think I needed an 8 to get to it. So I decided to take it, and I failed. Oh well, I rolled pretty low. Over here, he didn't get his Marauder horse out of arc of sight of one of my Hell Cannons. So I was like, well, screw it. Charge with the Hell Cannon. So the Hell Cannon went in. The other Hell Cannon turned to face the Demon Prince, which was stupid, all things considered. I shouldn't have done that. I actually think he might have failed his Rampage test. I think he failed his Angry Cannon test, and that's why he did that. So that wasn't my choice. My Demon Prince came over here to maybe cast Cacophonic on his Demon Prince, and my Doom Bowl came over. The Skull Cannon, as you can see, wheeled to face towards his Chimeras. And in the Magic phase, nothing really happened. I tried to get off Caco at his Demon Prince. I failed. Also tried to get off Acquiescence. He dispelled it. Or no, I think I failed my first spell of Caco, and my phase ended there. Oh well, what can you do? Go to Shooting phase, and my cannons, my Hell Cannons, or Skull Cannons rather, are able to take out one of his Chimeras, which was good. Everyone passed Panic, and so we go to Warriors of Chaos turn 2. So both of his Chariots, in combat over here, my Hell Cannon only did about 2 wounds. He stood in Steadfast, so now he piles in 2 of his Chariots into the flank of my Hell Cannon, which is fine. And his Demon Prince flies over. This here, I was completely forgetting that this is true line of sight, not systematic. So he could see my Skull Cannon over the hill, so we charged over. Stupid move on my part. I should have seen that, but I guess this was a rude awakening of true line of sight. In the middle, he charges his Chariots and his Skull Crushers into the Chimera, trying to drop it. This is a Mountain Chimera. So this is the thing that has like 46 attacks at Strength 7. So I think he kind of accepted that he's probably going to lose a lot. But hey, maybe he'll do a couple wounds. His General and a Chimera slam into a unit of Warriors. And his BSB slam into my Marauders. Magic is relatively uneventful. I think he might have gotten a Soul Blight up. I forget. It really didn't leave an imprint on my memory. We go to combat, and his BSB kills my unit champion of the Marauders. They fail their break test on a 7 Steadfast, and they run, and he runs me down. Oh well. As you can see in the fight with the Chimera and the General, my champion challenged. He has to accept. The Chimera killed about 6, and the General killed the champion. I stood on Steadfast. Here, impact hits kill the Hell Cannon, which was kind of crazy. He rolled something like 11 impact hits, and yeah, just my 5-up save, 5-up ward, and then 5-up crew save wasn't able to save it all, and my guy ended up going down. Oh well. And the Demon Prince killed the Skull Cannon. No surprise there. So we go to Legion's turn 2. So my Hell Cannon was facing this way, so he charged into the Marauders, as did the Doom Bowl. You can see that the overrun from the Chariot that charged my other Hell Cannon failed to make it to this Hell Cannon, so that was really fortunate for me. I was able to send the other Hell Cannon in for support, which was awesome. My BSB charged the same Chariot he charged before, and this time he actually made it, so good job him. My Furies advanced a little bit. I put my Demon Prince here because I was looking at it. I am currently in range of 1, 2, 3, 4 Chariots and his General for Caco Bomb. I am within 12 inches of all of them. So I was like, this is a fantastic location. I can just Caco Bomb off most of his army with one spell. So I go to my Magic phase, I throw 6 dice at it, and I failed to meet the value. I mean, a little unlucky. 6 dice should at least make the value. He did not have a scroll either, or maybe he did. But I think he might have used it in a previous turn. All I know is at this point he didn't have a scroll left. So I was like, all right, if I get it off, I had a pretty lucky phase. I think I rolled like a 6-4, so it's not really likely for him to stop it, but I just failed to make the value, which sucks. So yeah, what can you do? Yeah, my ogres moved a bit towards center to face towards the flank of his chimera in case it's needed. And then here, yeah, my charging BSB beats the chariot, fails to run it down, it gets away, but then I overrun into the skull crushers, which was nice. And then here, yeah, so both of my Tuskor chariots charged the Warriors of Chaos chariot over on this flank, and I was able to kill it with impact hits, which was awesome. He killed a couple more here, not as you would expect it to. And then here, yeah, my Hell Cannon went kind of crazy in this round. My Doom Bull killed the champ. The Hell Cannon killed what I needed to break Steadfast. He ran off the board. My Doom Bull didn't catch because he only pursues D6 inches, but he was able to get out of arc of sight of the chariot that was up there. So that was nice at least. So we got a Warriors of Chaos turn 3. Both of the chariots once again slam into my Hell Cannon. Yeah, Hell Cannon. I get these cannons mixed up, man. Demon Prince lands over here for a wonderful position for his Purple Sun. Chariot slams back in, as you might expect. And yeah, he throws Sun, and I fail to dispel it. And he rolls something ridiculous. Like, he doesn't roll a misfire. I think he rolls a 10. So it goes all the way over here. He kills, as you can see, 5 out of my 6 ogres, and he kills about 3 furies as well. Didn't get that many dice back, at least. What can you do? And yeah, combat here, he did a couple more wounds to the Chimera, but the Chimera slapped down his chariot. Here I did a couple of wounds. I think he challenged and I killed his champion, I think. And so now he's left on his BSB and his musician. Finally, in the combat over with the Warriors, the General and the Chimera finally succeed in killing off the rest of the Warriors, and they both reform. Then you can see his BSB, after beating my Marauders, is working his way around back towards the middle of the board. He kind of took himself out of the game by charging the Marauders and then overrunning. Really kind of took him away from from doing anything else the rest of the game. Which, I mean, hey, I'm fine with that. So we got a Legion's turn 3. Both of my Tuskor chariots charge into the rear of these chariots. My BSB comes up here, once again in good Kako range. Right now, the Mountain Chimera, the General, and 2 of his chariots are all in Kako Bomb range. The Doom Bull also flies back to point towards both his General and his Demon Prince, trying to pick a fight with them with my 3-up Doom Bull. Here, I don't do many wounds. I leave the one chariot on 1 wound remaining. The other one, I think, has only 1 wound on it total. Which, yeah, what can you do? He stood. I have 1 wound left on my Hell Cannon, and really that's about it. He stood. Warriors of Chaos turn 4, his rallied chariot that my BSB had beaten in my turn. It rallied in his turn, and now he charged into the Chimera again. Yeah, his BSB, or his General, just kind of moves out of arc of sight. Once again, he's going for, I think he was aiming for a Sun at this point. But then the BSB moves up to challenge my Doom Bull. It's like, challenge accepted. Alright. The Chimera moves around, yada yada yada. The General also flies up to look at the rear of my Furies and also take a bead on my BSB if the opportunity should present itself. And then here in combat, yeah, I finally stopped messing around. I end up killing both chariots, which was awesome. And here I finally kill one of the other guys. He has, I think, 2 wounds left on the unit. So we go to Legion's turn 4. So my Doom Bull does indeed charge into his BSB. I like this combat. I'll have charge and hopefully a couple wounds. Yeah, neither of us have other tricks to shard. Both of us have 3-up ward saves, but I have a ridiculous number of attacks. I think I'm up to 8 at this point. No, I'm at 7. I'm at 7 attacks at this point at strength 8. So yeah, he'll just have his 3-up ward save. My General is once again trying to get into Kako Bomb range of a bunch of good things. He is currently in range of his Demon Prince, his BSB, and the Mountain Chimera. So a good Kako Bomb should do a lot of stuff to it. The Furies come back to look at the flank of the BSB in case this combat drags on. I wanted my Furies to be able to charge the flank, so I'd have charge flank for his BSB. I just need to break him, and he auto-dies, and that means my Doom Bull doesn't have to overrun because, well, if the combat is still going on. So we go to this combat, and yeah, we each do a wound to each other. We end up pushing, which is fine. So now it's even better. If he ends up breaking he auto dies, I don't have to pursue, which is great, so my Doom Bolt can just reform. It's fantastic. Warriors of Chaos, turn 5, the General and the Chimera charge into the Mountain Chimera. Yeah, the Doom Bolt went there, the Demon Prince went somewhere. This combat kind of ground on, though neither of us did any wounds to each other. And then here, the Mountain Chimera kills his Chimera. The General takes a wound from the Chimera as well, but they do, and they're only able to do 1 wound to the Mountain Chimera, which is kind of crazy with all those attacks, but I guess he rolled pretty crap. Also, my BSB finally succeeded in killing the last Juggernaut, so that was great. So we go to Legion's turn 5. My Furies, as I said, charged into the flank of his BSB, and they make it, so now I have charge flank to cancel out his banner. If we end up pushing again in combat, then he will break. Well, he'll be down by 2. Which I guess would be a... I guess if we push, he'd be down by 1, which means he has a 7 rerollable, but I mean, hey, it's better than nothing. My 1 Tuskor Chariot that I just defeated the other 2 chariots charges into this Mountain Chimera. It has 3 wounds left. Okay, so he did 3 wounds to the Mountain Chimera with his General and his other Chimera. So my... now my Tuskor Chariot charges into that, just try to get the last couple wounds off, because like I said, it's in our best interest for it to die, for both of us. And die it does. I once again tried another Caco Bomb, and I failed. I have tried Caco Bombing almost every single phase at this point, and I failed to get it off every single time, which is a little crap. I mean, I'll address that later. So my Tuskor Chariot ends up killing it, and he makes the overrun into his General, which is pretty cool. And yeah, this is just an overview shot. My BSB is working his way around to look at his Demon Prince. And we go to Warriors of Chaos turn 6. So the Demon Prince charges into my Hell Cannon, who's kind of been sitting back here trying to take pot shots at things. And yeah, I slip another wound through. Actually, I think this turn I end up killing him. I don't know. I think I end up killing the I end up killing the BSB here in this turn. My my Doom Bolt end up getting the last couple wounds through, which is great. So he reforms to face. In the magic phase, he gets Soul Blade off of my Hell Cannon. I miraculously do a wound with my Tuskor Chariot to his General, and not only do I do a wound to his General, he also survives, which is kind of insane. The Tuskor Chariot survives with 2 wounds left. I have charge and a wound versus his 2 wounds. We end up pushing, which is kind of crazy. And then yeah, his Demon Prince ends up killing my Hell Cannon, which is to be expected. And yeah, here. My Doom Bolt finally gets the last wound through. I've taken 3 wounds. I have 2 left on my Doom Bolt, but my Doom Bolt slapped down his BSB, which is pretty awesome. So now I'm in position. So because his Disc Lord is the General, and he only has that, so he'll only have 1 table quarter. I have my General and my BSB alive, so I'll have 2 fortitude. So I'll win the table quarter scenario, which is great. So I'll achieve that. And I'll also, as long as my BSB gets into his deployment zone, I will also lock up all of these scenarios' objective points from the round for getting into my opponent's deployment zone and keeping him out of mine. So that's what. So my turn 6, I charge the Doom Bolt into the Demon Prince, who has, I think, no wounds on him at this point. My BSB goes into his deployment zone for the scenario objective points. My Demon Prince comes over here. Into Caco Bomb range. I'm going to try one more time. And I do try one more time, and I just do a low-level Caco this time. And this time with, I threw a good number. I think I threw all of my dice today. I think I threw 6. It goes off with Irresistible Force, which is fine. I wish that happened earlier in the game. I end up, the miscast ended up being Dimensional Cascade. Whew. But I ended up, my General ended up not going down the hole, which was fantastic. But for my rolling for wounds of his Demon Prince, I ended up rolling like a 4 and like no wounds went through. Which is kind of a little unfortunate. And then in this combat, impact hits from the Doom Bolt does 1 wound, attacks do another 2. His Demon Prince is left alive with 1 wound remaining. So he has exactly 2 models left on the board, his General and his Demon Prince, both of whom have only 1 wound left. Unfortunately, this is a lot of points that I'm leaving on the table. About the game in general, I think I was relying too much on my spell. I mean, it is tempting in this situation to lean heavily on Cackle Bomb. He has so many small units that a Cackle Bomb would basically take out so many points. So I was really trying to get that spell off. I was not rolling well. I failed to get it off every single time I tried to cast it, aside from the last one, which was Irresistible Force, and almost ended up costing me my general. Yeah, definitely not good from my perspective. I mean, I got all the tournament objective points, which is what I wanted. And yeah, I mean, I got a decent score. I think I had like 3,500 out of this, so puts me kind of upper middle tables, which is fine, I guess, after this. So it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't a great game, but what can you do? Anyway, this is Lord Kurnion. Hope you enjoyed the battle report. Comments or questions, please post in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.